I could be old enough to be a grandmother in some cases, because I'm a baby boomer. By most of you people I know are Gen Z from hearing from and seeing. There are Gen Z, millennials, and there are other groups as well, not just baby boomers. There's X and Y, just so you know. So I know that I'm not your mum, because I would know if I were your mum. Now, dads can't really say that. They can't, they have to pay money to prove it. That's one of the differences between men and women. So my friends will say, "Oh, Anne, but you've got no wrinkles." And I said, "Well, actually, if you go down further to my pubes, full of wrinkles." "And where's your white hair?" Also, go down there. Lots of white hair. I don't know what it's like for bald men, by the way. Anyway, as I said, I'm a millennial. And I'm from another millennial. My son is a millennial, imagine. So you might be you'll work out my age by the end, or I will help you with it if you're interested. You may not be. So I was, did any of you here wear school uniforms? I wore a school uniform and I hated it. I hated it because I was brought up an Irish Catholic in Protestant New Zealand in the time of sex, drugs and rock and roll. We got the rock and roll, we got the drugs, but if we got the sex and people heard about it, you had no friends. If you had no sex and people heard about it, you had no boyfriends. Unless you were really into oral sex, because that in my day, was actually a means of contraception. So in New Zealand, I mean, as an Irish New Zealander, people could tell from your uniform where you went to school. Nicky Doo, how are you? And then, I may not look Irish to you, except for my big breasts. But I actually have red hair, which is why I'm not grey. Because I'm more Neanderthal than most of you. Most of you, if people are into Homo sapiens, then I'm not for you, because I'm quite Neanderthal. That's why I have red hair. And that meant that that I was a potential terrorist. I was stopped at every border, had my bags searched, everything searched, because there was only one terrorist group at that time when I was traveling in Europe, and that was the Irish. And boy, did I look Irish. But why did I travel? Well, you may think that Europe invented Erasmus, but actually it was actually we Kiwis who did it. We all got our overseas experience. So, being frustrated with New Zealand and this whole thing, difficulty about wanting to be free, really free, but missing out because you were Catholic, was like I decided to go and look for fun and freedom. And what country did I go to? Germany. Now, Germany plus fun and freedom sounds a little bit like an oxymoron, doesn't it? But like in New Zealand, for Catholic New Zealanders, it was, don't you dare lose your virginity before you get married. In Germany, it's, you do not get married when you are a virgin. You must lose your virginity before you get married. Otherwise, I will not have it. So this was the place for me. But of course, I wasn't very rich. I was a student and working, and it was poor. So I couldn't travel. So a little bit like Liza Minnelli, if you couldn't afford to travel around the world, you let the world travel to you. And I was a New Zealander, so we're democratic. So if my boyfriend had a lover, and he did, then I got two. And he was furious. And I just went, anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. If you have one lover, I will have two. Now, one of the reasons you people are so happy is because we, as your parents or grandparents, looked after you, right? We sang Hakuna Matata. No worries, get by. And then, no worries, don't you worry about a thing. Because every little thing is gonna be alright. Thank you for proving me right. And we sang, we rocked you, we cradled you, we made sure everything was alright. And then happy, happy, happy. When you were about 10 or a little bit older, I'm so happy, happy, happy. Clap if you're gonna, that song. You're happy, of course you do. And so, whenever you have problems, it's a disaster. I don't know what's in this box, but it's a disaster, for sure. So anyway, we were too poor to travel, a little bit like some of you working and living in Barcelona where you don't get paid very much. And I'm wondering, do you, Gen Z, if you can't afford to travel, do you let the world travel to you? Or is that just really not a thing anymore? Because I remember people of my age ticking off the countries on their map of the world that they had on the wall. I'm just got a light, so I'm about to leave you. So you want to know how old I am? Maybe some of you don't. So I'm double figures, so the same number backwards and forwards. 10 years ago, because we've got some mathematicians in the room, 10 years ago, I was the same age as the year in which I was born. I'm more than double the age of somebody in this room who mentioned that they were very worried about getting old because, oh my God, I've got a birthday in September. So if you are able to guess my age at the break, I will buy you a drink without expecting anything, right? Okay, that's my time, that's my birthday. Pick up the mic.
You're good at that. Get the mic. Get the mic. Get the mic. Help us.
Probably better picking
Share
up
your
the mic
wisdom.
than... Okay. I've been single for 3 years. Well, you have a lot of competition in the group. I thought the young people do not want relationships anymore. It's instant love. Who wants to be tied down? All the songs. I was looking at all the songs you were brought up on in the 90s and the noughties. And they're all about, they're not like the Beatles. I want to hold your hand. Oh no, your songs, they're all about leaving and going and wanting to change. Just go with the flow. You're not missing out just because you've been single for 3 years. Do you know how much shit there is around there?